I think as soon as you really grasp the idea, especially on the subject of ascension, when you finally grasp the idea that the universe wants to give you everything that you want, and every single decision you make is a test, then, you know, and it's not a test like pass or fail, it's a test like the universe is saying, like, okay, what do you want?
Caleb's Tarot here, so we've got another episode of the Spiritual Showdown for the Spiritual Revolution for you. And today we've got our wonderful friend V from the YouTube channel, LIGHTSEED Angel. Hey V.
Hey.
So V, if you'd like to, let's start off with letting everybody know a little bit about who you are and what it is that you do and the many gifts that you have. Because I know, for one, you're like one of the most gifted people that I know. So why don't you let them know?
Thank you, Kay. Well, essentially, I think if I had to put one label on what I do, I'm essentially a light worker. And so I work with light beings and light energy to help bring healing to others spiritually, physically, and emotionally. So I am a certified Reiki master teacher. So I use Reiki as part of my ability to heal others. And I also do receive messages from spirit guides and angels that I use to just direct people in their lives.
Fantastic. So you've been reading tarot for quite some time now. How long has it been?
18 years.
Yes, I was going to say it's just that a little bit longer than I have. And how are you finding the YouTube channel going at the moment, and like what can people expect from that moving forward?
You know, with my YouTube channel, I've actually stepped away for the last month or two, and I think this is actually in line with what we're talking about today, because I feel that half of my clients are trying to move away from their 3D lives. They're trying to move away from a lower vibration energy, and they're really trying to ascend. The other half of my followers have ascended. So, you know, where people used to reach out for a tarot reading and be like, when is my ex coming back? Or when is my next lover coming in? Or these kind of 3D, you know, human life circumstances. Now I'm having clients reaching out to me saying, how can I grow spiritually? How can I connect with my spirit guides? How can I, like, ascend?
So that's really the sort of point of topic that these shows are all about. So in a roundabout way, I don't want to give away many of your secrets, but what is, because many people have different definitions of ascension and what it means for them personally, and there is no right or wrong answer to this stuff. Mm-hmm. Many people, you know, see moving towards God as the ultimate ascension. You know, some people see it more on an ET level, some people see it on more of a spiritual and light being level. You being a light being, let's hear what your view is on what ascension really is.
So there are definitely different types of beings. I think different people associate with different things. There's no right or wrong thing. It's kind of like different species of spirituality in a way. So I associate very closely with angels. There are some people that associate with dark angels. Some people associate with forest beings and forest creatures. You know, some people that associate with like outer space and clouds. And everyone really has their own identity, and I think through your ascension process you'll find your own identity. Just because I'm an angel worker or a light worker doesn't mean that someone else who's maybe more of a shamanistic forest type is going to walk the same path of ascension as me. So what ascension is essentially is choosing to come closer to your higher self and choosing to move away from your 3D life and 3D concerns, meaning, you know, just attachments to your human life. We're spiritual beings enjoying a human existence. We're not trapped in it.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more. And what a lot of people really want to know is, because sometimes they'll start thinking that they've got symptoms of ascension. And I know you can't really put this in, it's not textbook because everybody's experience is very different. So why don't we go into what your personal experience was when you first started ascent? Because I know you're somewhere like more up in the fourth density now, and that you've been working really, really hard on yourself over the last 2 years, which, by the way, kudos. But you know, what was it like for you in those first stages?
It's so hard for me to remember because I was very accepted as a child experiencing these things, and I know a lot of people didn't have that. So a lot of people, when they were younger and they started hearing angels or knowing the future or predicting things or having these prophetic dreams or whatever, they were kind of shunned by their friends and family. And so I had a very privileged spiritual experience where when I kind of said, hey, you know, I can see things that, or I know things about people that I shouldn't know. I hear these words from these angels that are telling me their names and giving me these messages. I was very accepted. And so I started my spiritual growth journey really at about 5 years old. So, you know, I went through a lot of my ascensions between 17, 18, 19 years old. So it's hard for me to truly remember what I went through in those times. I will say that I think you really get tests. The universe is constantly testing you all the time. All of us. It's testing us all the time. Because the universe wants us to be happy and it wants us to be our best selves. And it doesn't know how to do that, as odd as that sounds. So the universe will kind of give you a test, just for example, in regards to money. Like, let's say that you get some bills in the mail. The universe is watching you, testing you, saying, like, what do you think of these bills? What do you think of giving your money away? And if you say, like, oh, I'm always paying bills, I'm always giving my money away, and that's kind of the energy you put out, the universe is like, oh, she likes giving her money away. Let's give her more bills. Let's give her more fees and fines and traffic tickets and whatever. But if you say, like, it's not a big deal because more money will come in, you know, I have a lot of money. I attract money easily. Money comes and goes to me easily. The universe is like, oh, okay, she likes having money, so let's bring her more money. You know, and that's just one small example of how we're constantly being tested. But especially during ascension, you are being tested where the universe is basically like, do you want your 3D problems or do you want to ascend into your higher spiritual self? So it's going to start sending you relationships that don't resonate with you. It's going to start sending you people that are going to use you, lie to you, steal from you, cheat on you, hurt you. And, you know, it's your job through that ascension to see that those relationships and those circumstances are not suited for you. And that's your opportunity to say, I'd rather be alone than be in these circumstances and these relationships. And that's when the universe is like, okay, so you want to be on a higher plane is what I'm understanding, so let's bring her there.
Yeah, I totally understand that. And I think everybody really has had personal experiences where they've had these, you know, shitty sort of one-to-ones with friends or relationships, sometimes even family, you know, and they're literally just like, what the fuck is this person in my life, you know? Yeah. And it's sort of, what on earth did I do to deserve this horrible person in my life? And again, it's just a way of being tested. Are you going to continue letting this person rule you or put you down or use you in any way? Or are you actually going to do something about it? Because that's exactly what you're being tested on. And it's like too many people, I get a lot of clients that come to me and they're literally like stuck in these on-off situations. And I'm constantly saying, look, walk away from it, because by the time you meet the one, it'll make sense of why everything else didn't work before. That, you know, this genuinely is a test, but more than anything, treat it like you're testing yourself, you know. So I completely understand where you're coming from with that one. I'm really glad that sort of you've brought that up, because I think a lot of people on a 3D level are constantly saying, why me, why me, why me? It's like, well, there's your answer right there. These answered it all in one sentence. Thank you.
Yeah, it really is just constantly test. You have to, I think as soon as you really grasp the idea, especially on the subject of ascension, when you finally grasp the idea that the universe wants to give you everything that you want, and every single decision you make is a test, then, you know, and it's not a test like pass or fail, it's a test like the universe is saying, like, okay, what do you want? You know, so if you know, to people that are in a place where they're trying to ascend, my advice to you would be act like you are ascended, act like you want to ascend. If someone's on a lower vibration than you, they just give you icky feelings, and they don't treat you with the respect that you feel you deserve, or you just don't resonate with that person, step away from them. You know, recognize that people and dynamics are two different things. So, not to veer off the topic of ascension too much, but just really briefly, you know, if two people are in a dynamic, so let's say one person that's trying to spiritually ascend and one person that's in a lower vibration are both in a relationship together, and they've created this unhealthy dynamic where they break up and they get back together and they fight over things that aren't worth fighting over and all this stuff. So these two people are stuck in this dynamic. The person that's trying to ascend may say like, oh, well, this person's dragging me down, but in reality they're choosing to stay in that dynamic. And as soon as the person that's trying to ascend walks away from that relationship, they're not walking away from that person, they're walking away from that dynamic. And then if the other person that's in that low vibration chooses to ascend themselves and chooses to walk away from that dynamic, they as well can walk away from that dynamic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Right, let's move on because we don't have really much time. So, and I wouldn't want to keep you longer than I have to. So, I really do want to pick your brain. Obviously, everybody's been talking lately about the age of Aquarius. Me and V had a little talk before, like, we actually started recording this. But you know, some debate that we sort of have already shifted through it, or some debate we're going through it, some debate that we are entering into it. Whichever way it goes, it's coming. We know that on a spiritual level, we know that on a psyche level as well. So what's your views on what the age of Aquarius is going to bring? Because we all know that the age of Pisces could be considered the dark age. You know, it's all about suppression, and you know, I researched it a little bit, and from what I could gather is, you know, the Pisces are ruled by Neptune, and it's sort of all about illusion. You know, not really fully understanding what's real and what's not real, and it's like a blanket illusion. So yeah, it makes sense that people call it the dark age. So moving into the Aquarius, it's like the age of enlightenment. So what do you think people can start to expect as we sort of enter into it?
Mm-hmm. Well, I definitely think that a lot of people are feeling drawn to find their spiritual path. And for me personally, I have experienced, like I said, a lot more clients that instead of asking about kind of 3D issues, they are asking, how can I ascend? How can I connect with my spirit guides? So a lot of people are going to be getting weird feelings. So, you know, you're going to be driving and a little voice in your head is going to tell you like, hey, exit here. And you're like, okay, not like I'm going to work or anything, but sure, I'll exit. And you'll just kind of find these circumstances, you know, you'll just be led. You'll be led to go to random places. You'll be led to call people. You know, everyone's intuition is really spiking to a more audible level. So for those people that want to ascend, just listen to that intuition more, because it is going to guide you to places that you need to go, people that you need to meet, and all of those things. So it's definitely one thing people are going to expect is like weird random things. It happens to me. I'll be driving somewhere. My spirit guides will be like, hey, exit here, U-turn, go park right here. And I've done it before. I parked in a totally random parking spot, random place. I had no intention to be there whatsoever. And there was a woman wandering around the streets that needed my spiritual guidance at the time. And it's like, I just went where it was supposed to go, you know? So more people are going to be experiencing that. I think more people are also being drawn to care for their bodies in a sense that their bodies are aligning to their spirit. So a lot of people are waking up to what their nutritional and like sleep needs are. So I'd say just listen to that intuition, you know, move away from any belief system that you have as far as like what foods you should and shouldn't eat, and go with what you feel drawn to eat. Like I'm being told to eat a lot of shellfish and creatures that come from the sea and vegetables, you know, so that's like what my spirit needs my physical body to consume in order for them to align. So a lot of people are going to be guided to eat certain things and, you know, act in a certain way, sleep at certain times, those kind of things.
Wow. So really, really interesting stuff, Fee. I think a lot of people as well are going to be really interested in the other side, because you are connected. It is one of your many gifts. You've got a lot of different gifts that I'm in awe of, but you are connected to the side, and you do have your spirit guide, Gabriel, who helps you out a hell of a lot. So what insights do you have from, for example, the fourth dimension on a conscious level? Like, what insights can you let people know? Like, hey, once you get up here, this is what you can expect.
Yeah, well, when I did kind of reach my final ascension in my path, so this was before I had practiced Reiki, when I kind of reached my final ascension in my path as an angel, as a light worker, angel worker. It's hard to explain, because this is something that's really only going to make sense to people after they begin these ascensions. But you really discover that nothing matters, but in the best way. It's just this total release and this total freedom and this total acceptance. So it's hard for me to say anything that's going to resonate to people until they're actually there and they're like, oh my gosh, I get it. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, from what my experience, it's just, there's a lot of little things that just don't matter anymore. I mean, as everybody knows, I'm a Scorpio through and through, and those can be like naturally very argumentative. And you know, and I've been in situations where I could have literally blew my fucking lid a few times, and I just found myself just not wanting to, just rather away. You know, I mean, it's like, say, I don't know, I bought something and it's not quite right. You know, a couple of years ago, I'd literally stormed in. I'm like, selling me shoddy crap, you know, and, you know, just go off my head about silly little things. And then when you sort of get past it, you're like, stuff just doesn't matter anymore. Yeah. That's not matter anymore. And relationships, you sort of get yourself to a level. I mean, everybody knows I'm a single woman. And it's like you get yourself to a level where you actually really enjoying just loving yourself. I know this come for me, and that doesn't bother me in the slightest, but my point is, little things like loneliness, anger, frustration and bitterness just doesn't seem to matter anymore. And it's like you find you're embracing forgiveness a lot more as well. So yeah, I mean, this sort of stuff I find really, really interesting. And I think that, like, a lot of the viewers would love to sort of see that kind of stuff. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about your spirit guide, Gabriel?
Sure. So actually, you know that I work with more than just Gabriel. So Archangel Gabriel has been with me since, you know, essentially since before I was born. And that brings a more powerful, maybe, presence than some of the, you know, lower... how can I say, lower tiered angels, you know what I mean? So working with Archangel Gabriel has given me all of these extensive gifts, because I've always been meant to be a master to the masters. So other masters that guide people generally within their ascensions, those masters seek me. And I found that in my waking life, you know, through people I've connected online, people I've connected just anywhere, people just drawn to me. And they are Reiki masters, Tai Chi masters, you know, spiritually ascended masters. And it's just my place to guide them. And so I have connected with all four archangels very deeply. We had a deep connection after my Reiki master attunement. And I also work with Pearl. I don't know if I told you, Pearl is like one of the top 3 above the archangels.
I think you'd mentioned her, but you didn't go into detail, so why don't you do that now?
Oh yeah, sure. Well, I think some people call her Galaglia or something like that. That's another name that I've heard that I think resonates with her. Obviously, she told me to call her Pearl. And essentially, you know, they just bring me messages about different things. Some of it's a little hard to explain, and I don't want to veer off topic too much by going into some details. But they really show me how things work spiritually in the physical world, like how things interact with each other, how the elements interact with each other. And I think the biggest thing that I could tell people that want to connect to those type of guides that are trying to ascend is seek out your masters. The age of Aquarius is a time to seek out your masters. The age of Pisces is going to be very confusing. It's kind of one of those stages where it's like, if you want to go to the Mad Hatter's tea party, you have to be mad as well in order to understand what he's saying. So you're going to have to be kind of crazy to be able to like navigate the craziness of the age of Pisces.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It literally is what I will call the followers' age. It's basically a world collective of followers rather than leaders, rather than individual leaders. Because the way that, I mean, this is sort of what I've been trying to explain to people, the way the earth is changing, the way the world is changing, is the fact that we are so constantly trying to keep up with what the top tier want you to keep up with. So you're constantly following, as opposed to actually branching out and saying, no, I'm individual, I'm unique, and I'm embracing that. But the top tier don't want you to be individual, don't want you to be unique. They like these group of followers to just keep continuing on what I would call the hamster wheel. Sure. So, you know, I think this is great that if we can sort of inspire people to start breaking away from the norm now, as we enter into this age of Aquarius, that would be amazing.
Exactly, and that's one. Yeah, and that's definitely one of the biggest parts of the age of Aquarius, is that people will be sought to find their masters. So, you know, I've had Reiki clients or clients that want to ascend, clients that want to connect with their spirit guides, and they've sought me out and they've said, like, I just knew, like, I had to seek you, like, I had to connect with you. And just because I'm a Reiki master, just because I can connect people to their spirit guides, does not mean that I'm the right master for everyone. Everyone has their own master, and now the age of Aquarius is the time to seek those people out and connect with them so that they can kind of give you the books and the materials and the ascension process. And then during the age of Pisces, everyone is kind of, it's kind of like, you know, fish, like kind of in schools, kind of all learning from this environment, and then when age of Pisces comes, everyone's gonna swim off and be their own little fish. So biggest thing about age of Aquarius is it is time to find your master and time to like really let your intuition take over.
Yeah, brilliant. So how more short-term, how do you think that the spiritual collective as a whole is going to progress? Like, what can we expect, say, in the immediate future, like in the next 10 years?
Well, in the next 10 years, things are going to be shifting massively on a collective scale, because unity consciousness is basically this process where we all ascend simultaneously. And, you know, for personal ascensions, they're kind of like these big steps. And the unity consciousness ascension is more like a hill, so we can take tiny little baby steps to get up to the top. And, you know, people that live in the 3D, that are very concerned with like human issues and relationships and money and those kind of things, they hold themselves to this world in a way that they can't ascend, and so they continue staying in that consciousness and creating, like, attracting those problems. Once you start ascending, you start becoming part of the unity consciousness. Once you've ascended to kind of your final level, like people like I have, you only care about the whole world ascending. That's what you care about. You know, you get to a point where you no longer care about your own ascension and your own spiritual growth. You want the world to ascend. It's a place where truly you just want the best for other people. Even, you know, I am a human. I live a human life. I've had relationships. I had a relationship with a twin flame that didn't work. And someone recently said to me, like, oh, I hope he's miserable. I hope he never finds someone that makes him happy. And I was like, well, I don't hope that at all. I hope that he grows spiritually and that he is happy, because I want every single human that ever exists to be happy. That's what I truly want. And so as you ascend, the whole unity consciousness ascends. I see a time within the next 10 years where people are going to Reiki practitioners as much as they are going to doctors for physical healing. You know, I have seen people looking to spiritual guides and spiritual healers just equally as they look to like medical practitioners and psychological practitioners.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. And I really like the fact that you sort of touched base on the opening of consciousness. Now, I will quickly touch on that one for the viewers. When you, this is my theory, but I happen to find a lot of people agree with this. The opening of the consciousness relies on the power of your own belief. Mm-hmm. So, in other words, manifestation could totally be linked into this. So, if you don't believe that there is nothing outside our 3D world, for you there isn't. When you step up to that next level, you accept that we're going to have to go through this one way or another. And let's just put it like this. If you don't start preparing yourself for this stuff now and believing a little bit more, opening your conscious just that little bit more now, you're going to suffer through ascensions later on, because the world is a collective. We are going to go through one. And, you know, it's like my good friend Georgia said on the previous episode, we can either take the long way round or we can take the detour. It's entirely your decision, let's be honest. But so your conscious does rely on the power of your belief. So, for example, if you don't believe in, I'm going to touch base on ETs, extraterrestrials, just as an example. So if you don't believe in extraterrestrials, and at one point humans as a collective may need them for aid or whatever, and they come down, I'm pretty sure a few of you are going to shit yourself to the point you put yourselves in mental homes. If you actually start opening your conscious now and allowing the idea of it to just flow through your mind, spirit, body, your heart, your soul, by the time something happens later on down the line, you half expect it, you're less afraid of it, it's less going to affect you, you can embrace it. So right. Again, the power of belief does not make a person crazy. It makes them sensible long term, let's just be honest.
Well, and I will say too, along with opening your consciousness to beliefs, and it is so tied into manifestation. When you use that word, I was like, yes, people don't understand to the extent that manifestation is a real thing. I'll tell you something that happened to me a couple of days ago. My house flooded before, and my whole, I lost everything, which is totally fine. I moved on, and it was actually ended up being a clean slate that I needed. But I lost my book collection, including some really nice hardcovers that I hadn't read. And I can't tell you how many times I've looked at these books in the bookstore, put them into my Amazon shopping cart, and I was like, I want these books, but I don't really feel like spending the $400 on the whole collection that I want, because I'm kind of like a hardcover snob, and I have to have the whole series and all that stuff. So I've been looking at these books, looking at them, wanting them, but not buying them. And a couple days ago, one of my friends had split up with their ex, and they said they left this whole book collection behind, and I just want it out of my house. And I said, well, let me take a look. We go into the room. There's nothing in the room but just a bookshelf, and it is full to the brim of every single book, hardcover, the whole series that I wanted. I came into a $350, $400 book collection that I had been wanting, and I was like, I've been manifesting this book collection by looking at the books and saying that I wanted them. Manifestation comes into the 3D in so many ways. That's just a small example of how I use it. I've used manifestation to create relationships with people, to create job opportunities, different circumstances. So yeah, but if I had, as you were saying, like, it's all about your openness to that consciousness. If I had been saying, like, I'll never have these books, instead of looking at them and saying, like, I want these books, I'm just not willing to buy them, the universe is like, oh, she wants these books, but she's not going to pay for them, so let's give them to her. But if I had been looking at those book collections and said, like, I'm never going to have these books, they're too expensive, I'll never own them, I'll never have these books again, then the universe is like, oh, she doesn't want these books.
Absolutely, it's pessimism. Pessimism is going to be to everybody's detriment moving forward. So we need to start getting a little bit more optimistic about everything, about possibilities, about what could be reality. Even if you just allow yourself to embrace the idea that something could be real, something could be possible, when it happens, you're going to take it a lot easier than if you don't believe in something and it happens. It's like when people see ghosts. they literally shit themselves half the time, and it's like, oh my god, oh, you know, and it's this ultimate fear. And funnily enough, some ghosts do tend to feed off the fear. If you already know about it and you already believe that they exist, whether you see them or not, by the time these experiences happen, for one, you're not going to feed into the negative, and for two, you're not going to send crazy. Let's just be honest. Right. You have to take responsibility for your own, for your power of your belief system. People don't take enough responsibility for this stuff, and that's where things. But anyway, V, to round this up, is there anything else you would like to quickly tell the viewers?
I think the only thing is just exactly what you've already been saying. Just be open. You know, in my own personal experience working with students, Reiki students, or people connecting their spirit guides, it's the people that are open to whatever is to come that really get the full benefit of that experience. I've had Reiki students that are just open. They're just like, I don't know if I'm going to come out of this being a healer or not feeling anything at all, but I'm open to whatever comes. And it's those people that have this like massive life-changing energy change. And then I've, you know, worked with people that are just closed off to those ideas, and they just don't have access. You know, everyone has access to universal energy. Everyone has access to their spirit guides. Everyone has access to the future, the past, to healing, to everything. It's all right there. You just have to believe that it's yours.
Exactly. So, and V, thank you so much for doing this spiritual showdown, and you made episode number 2. So, so you guys, please do feel free to head over to V's channel, Lightseed Angel. I'm going to pop a link on this video at the end. Don't forget, you want to continue receiving notifications for these episodes. There's going to be more to come. I've got more to come from the exciting guests. And V, I hope we can have you back someday to talk about something different next time.
Awesome, yeah.
Meantime, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, even share the vid. The more views this gets, the more the word gets out to the spiritual collective, and those that, even if they're just curious in any way, that shows you're ready for this. So make sure you do that. And thanks ever so much for doing this, V.
Thank you, Kay, for having me.